Om. 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 Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunattu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste to all.
I came across a very beautiful greeting. It was a New Year greetings. I liked it so much. So I thought that greeting type things also can be used. It is a PowerPoint presentation for developing our theory on sustainability. Principles of emptiness. That is the heading of that. I will share the screen to you. A few years back, I received a greeting from one of our close well-wisher, and the heading was "The Principles of Emptiness." It is by Joseph Newton. I like the whole concept, the visuals, etc. So I'm tempted to share it, and maybe on similar lines, we can conduct the workshops for the young generation, which will be very, very interactive. Now, all of us have already discussed about the cluttering, decluttering, and all that. So, this Joseph Newton also, when he talks about the emptiness, he talks about the decluttering of the normal hoardings which we do it. Have you got the habit of hoarding useless objects, thinking that one day, who knows when you may need them? We have a long session on that. I remember, and our Madan was telling that every week we should try to say in what way we are decluttering our bathrooms, our kitchen, and every day. So this is very, very important. And then we find that, as far as I am concerned, after that decluttering exercise, I myself started decluttering my own room. I have handed over all my books to our department. Otherwise, so many books were in my room. Similarly, a lot of notes and files were there. So most of the things I have emptied and I have handed over to the office. So I thought I should start myself by decluttering. Have you got the habit of accumulating money and not spending it because you think that in future you may want it? Fortunately, I don't have my own personal money. It is all department's money or Kendra's money. But there also, there is definitely a problem. With God's grace, our department don't have a problem of money. But we do not know how to spend money. Whenever the extra money comes, we are finding it very difficult. Because our whole approach is we are slightly miser in spending money on any project. So most of the money, whatever we get for project, there also we get lot of savings. Perhaps earlier I had told you that we are renovating a lot of water bodies. And we have a very old, wonderful worker, Kadiresan, who is working with us for the last 30 years. So recently we have renovated one water body at Pudukkottai district, Lakshmi Tirtham. And the budget was 25 lakhs, but we must have spent more than 35 lakhs. Not by spending money, but by collecting a lot of stones, debris, etc., which are lying on the road. So whenever he goes on a motorcycle, his eyes will be always fixed. So whatever is lying outside the roadside, whether he can make use of in the while making the renovation of Tirtha. Same thing we applied in our Rameshwaram also. Whenever we did the 50 water bodies, lot of unwanted materials which are lying on the roadside, we have used it, and that is how the not only that, in the process we have cleaned the area also, and at the same time we have reused the material and made our tirthas better. Have you got the habit of storing clothes, shoes, furniture, utensils, and other home supplies that you have not used already for the same? Uh, I have lot of clothes. Unfortunately, I always tell people whenever they want to present the clothes, I said, please don't give me any clothes because my wardrobe is as good or as big as our honorable Prime Minister. But still, our well-wishers go on giving me vesties and kurtas and all that. But I have kept some of the clothes ready for disposal. Whenever nowadays even poor people don't require any clothes. That is another problem. But even then, we have some laborers coming from Bihar, etc. So I always keep those clothes ready for giving them good clothes whenever they are leaving our campus. Same is the case with the shoes. I have two chappals, but my friend Anil Batra, our Raghunandan knows him very well. We are very close for last 30 years. This year, last month, when I went to Delhi, he said, Vasudeo ji, आपका चप्पल ठीक नहीं है, आपको शूज चाहिए. And he forced me to take a shoes, although I was protesting. And along the shoe, he gave me another chappal also. So such things are coming in my mind, although I don't want it, but some of the things are forced and because of love and affection. But I am aware that the decluttering is really required and it doesn't help at all in our own life. And inside yourself, have you got the habit of keep reproaches, resentment, sadness, fears and more? This is very, very important. I remember when we were talking about the decluttering, our Raghu was rightly telling, more than decluttering outside things, decluttering inside the mind, washing those things are more essential. In fact, about the decluttering the material things, there are examples that there are many people, my own colleague in Krishnamurti, many of you have visited his room. It is full of books, medicines, everything is lying, papers here, there, full room is, and perhaps his mind works when there is a cluttering. So the decluttering aspect is fine, but not necessarily for all the people. Of course, I always tell my other colleague that you should not give the example of Krishnamurti ji, because Krishnamurti ji is having lot of material in his room, it is spread everywhere, but his mind is empty, and that's why he can do lot of innovative things. So that is more important. So the first aspect may be fine for general public, but not necessarily for all the public. But the second one is most important for each and every one of us. And inside yourself, have you got the habit of to keep reproaches, resentment, sadness, fears and more? Well, I don't know whether I have really succeeded or no, but I am trying to do that. And one technique which I learnt was to pray for the people whom you dislike. Many times it happens, this thought comes to your mind again and again. Same person. Then I say, oh, my life is not revolving around that man. It is not right. So what is the antidote? What is the way out? The way out is pray. Every day you bring that man in your prayer and pray for him. So automatically your dislike or hatred or envy about that man will reduce. And I find up to some extent it has really helped me. And then as this slide is telling that ultimately this emptying ourselves not only helps others, more than that it helps ourselves. Don't do it. You are going against your prosperity. I will be miserable. I will be foolish to keep all those nonsensical things in my mind. My prosperity depends on emptying my mind with these shat vikaras, with this hatred, envy, anger, etc. against any individual. So this is very, very important. And that is what our Raghunandan was telling earlier, that inner cleaning, inner washing all these very, very important. Then again, these slides are again quite repetitive. In fact, when we do the presentation, we'll have to rearrange the whole thing. And maybe visuals also, some of the visuals are not very appropriate. Of course, those who are very creative, they may like this slightly abstract. But for a common man, we may have to change the visuals. Now we say it is necessary to make room to leave an empty space in order to allow new things to come, arrive to your life. That is correct. And that is what we call is the deconditioning. If we go on keeping everything in my mind, then I always say your mind will, in the non-veg language I say, your mind will get constipated. So this constipated mind is not a sign of health, it is a sign of disease. It is necessary that you get rid of all the useless things that are in you and your life in order to prosperity to arrive. Very nice things. This again is a very highly at the philosophical level. That if you really want your journey from tamas to rajas to sattva and beyond, then this is very, very important. It's a part of the sadhana. We'll have to do it. You'll have to get rid of useless things. And I always really appreciate, some of us may have some differences with our Prime Minister, but our Prime Minister has a wonderful capacity to close his mind from outside clutter. And he goes on his own agenda. It is not very easy. Many times, even in a day, sometimes somebody insults me, somebody talks roughly with me, I go on, working on it. So Prime Minister will have more than 1 lakh such issues are there, but he just doesn't bother because he has the capacity to close the mind and not allowing the outside clutter to enter in his mind. And that's why we find that his efficiency is so much, and he is having a lot of innovative ideas every now and then, and that is how he is much more prosperous, not at the material level, but at the intellectual, emotional and spiritual level. The force of this emptiness is one that will absorb, attract all that you wish. Once we start enjoying this emptiness, then we will understand that how wonderful innovation will come out of it. In fact, they say that out of emptiness only the new creativity comes. Our Annaji has written series of articles on this particular aspect on creativity, more than some 25 articles. I will request him one day again to have a presentation on this, emptiness and creativity. Next. As long as you are materially or emotionally holding old and useless feelings, you won't have room for new opportunities. As I said, a lot of slides require rearrangement. Again, the same idea is coming, that you have to get rid of all unwanted things, both materially as emotionally also. Ultimately, the emptiness, all jocularly or seriously, we always say, final aim is the journey will have to be something like a Ramana Maharshi. That is what we will have to do it. But it is again a long process. Everybody cannot follow Ramana Maharshi so quickly. So if we can do that, but this decluttering process will take us to that particular level. Goods must circulate. Clean your drawers, the wardrobes, the workshop, the garage and everything. This is very, very important. I am telling my staff members, tomorrow is a Vijayadashmi, before that we do the cleaning. But cleaning should not be only, get rid of all unwanted things. Call the Bangalwala, dispose of. That is the real cleaning. Same is the case during the holy time also. So luckily our festivals are there. Our Sanatana Dharma tells us all these things of decluttering. But we don't follow, we just go outside and we don't understand the inner meaning of it. And that is how we are not, progressing the way we should have progressed. Give away what you don't use any longer. This is very important. I gave my books and lot of files, notes, etc. to my office 4 months back, and I am really shocked. I have not entered that room in the last 4 months. It means I was not requiring those books or those files at all. Otherwise, definitely I would have gone to that room and again searched those things. So this is what is happening. Many times we are not aware that so many unwanted things are lying there. Why we should do it? So this is what we are doing. Now I am disposing my 40 years old diaries, and as I said, sometimes when I go through the old diaries, about 7-8 diaries are disposed of. Sometimes it is very disturbing, because you are tempted to read what is there inside and all that, and then all those memories are coming. But one way it is exercise, and at the same time I am also realizing it that even after 40 years I have not made any big progress. I have to go a long way, and that's why perhaps in our Sanatana Dharma we say that many times you have to take birth after birth after birth. So we'll have to show a lot of patience, and we should not get disheartened. But when I was going through my old diaries, I was finding myself that my own limitations. The attitude of keeping a heap of useless stuff ties your life down. Yeah, that is true. All of you, I remember in our yoga shibir, we used to have Jonathan Livingston Seagull. That was used to be our lecture. In fact, we can have Jonathan Livingston Seagull's story also in our sustainable lifestyle. That is very inspiring. That how all of us, we have a tremendous capacity to fly, but unfortunately we are, tying down ourselves. That is what APJ Abdul Kalam said. That is what Swami Vivekananda said. So this is what, if we do this decluttering of mind, then only we'll be able to fly high. It is not the objects you keep that stagnate your life. Yeah, the stagnation comes, the conditioning comes because of all unwanted emotions, feelings which you go on storing, and that is what I say, constipated mind. But rather the attitude of keeping. Yeah. Next. When we keep in store, we consider the possibility of wanting or penury. Yeah, it's very important. When we go on keeping storing, we are not sure whether we want it again or what will happen to our future. We are all the time worried about the future and the past. We don't live in the present. And that is what this our Joseph Newton is telling in this slide. When we keep in store, we consider the possibility of wanting or penury. We believe that tomorrow it may lack and that we won't be able to fulfill those necessities. We don't have, really we don't have faith in God or with others. And though we always go on saying, oh, this may happen to me, this may happen, so what will do, I may require that. And that makes us stagnate our life, our thinking. With that idea, you are sending two messages to your brain and to your life. This is very important. This message is very important. That you don't trust tomorrow. The very, it requires a lot of contemplation, this slide. And you think that the new and the better are not for you. So you are comfortable with your own conditioning. You enjoy the misery. When I used to take TA classes, transaction analysis classes for a number of years. Although TA has its own limitations, but I always liked the Western's way of presentation. And there also I used to say that there are people who are enjoying their misery also. I am not exaggerating. I have seen people. They are comfortable. They go on doing the same cycle again and again. They don't want to come out of that misery also, because they will feel uncomfortable. So this is what is there. So I remember that there are, this deconditioning at a different level, and that's why a person like Raghunandan, we'll be able to make these slides by coordinating or polarizing it with tamas, rajas, and sattva. We can bring the Sanatan Dharma, all the gunas, and all these aspects can be brought in this type of slides. And for this reason, you cheer, you dance, you love, you sing, you live. It's very, very important. Many of us, we feel, oh, we have become old, how we can dance? We are more worried about the society. We have started dancing. But otherwise, we as a Hindu society, as a Sanatan Dharma, all our festivals were full of dancing. Now we see the dancing only in the tribal community. But once upon a time, all of us were tribals only. And that is how they enjoy very much. I can't dance openly, otherwise they will start looking at me, they will laugh at me. But I do dance when I play volleyball. And that's why I feel that volleyball is really helping me in bringing my childhood. There I shout, there I get angry, there I laugh, there I make comments. And then there is no bar. And luckily the group is very heterogeneous. There are bus drivers, bus conductors, shopkeepers, some are auto drivers, some are students. So this is very, very important. Love, sing and live as though heaven is on earth. That every day is very, very important. God has given us a life. So let me enjoy today's day. Like that we should go on thinking. Dance as though no one is watching you. Love as though you have never been heard before. Sing as though no one can hear you. Live as though heaven is on earth. This is very, very important. Get rid of what lost its colors and brightness. Yeah, again, whatever has faded, whatever has gone, whatever the past, forget about it and start a new life. This is very, very important. I remember a few years back when I was in Canada itself, I attended one seminar called EST. It was again a foreign concept. But it was a wonderful experience for me. I wish we should have in our training program on sustainable lifestyle, we should have that type of exercise. I don't know whether I had talked to Madan or Raghu about that ESC training. Somebody sponsored my name from Gujarat and I attended that program either in Gujarat or in Bombay. There the trainer, it was a 3 days program, and there also their exercise was of decluttering the mind. And then it was a long session, 2-3 hours, and then that man told, the trainer told, see, all of you are keeping all dirt in your mind, anger against your husband or your wife, against father, your son, your colleague. Can you get rid of it? It was a long process. Gradually he developed the theme. And then he gave this exercise to the participants. He said, now look, now the session has ended. I would like to know how many of you are going home and getting rid of that anger or that hatred or that quarrel with your dear and near. And some of them, they raised their hands. And then the trainer told, look, simply don't raise our hands. Tomorrow morning our session will start by knowing from you in what way you got rid of that anger. Then somebody says, sir, I had a problem with my father, but my father is not there here. Then what can I do? Then he says, you catch the train and go. Or you can talk to him on telephone. At that time mobiles were not there. That is up to you. You don't give me the excuses again for not doing this exercise. And then next day, some people, they started telling their stories, and it was a wonderful experience in my life. They were crying. They were telling, sir, I talked to my father after 20 years. And then when I told that, father, please forgive me, he also started crying. He also, and both of us, we hugged to each other and all that. It was a wonderful, what they call in psychology, catharsis. You are emptying the mind, all pent up emotions for years together, which you have stored in your heart, you became empty and you felt so much relief. Stories after stories. It was a big audience of more than some 200 people, but those people, those 5-6 of them, they never felt bad of weeping in front of the crowd. And I'm sure some of you must have read a beautiful book written by one person. all of you know that there are people who go to Kashi for spending the final days of their life. And there is one ashram. They allow such people to come there, but the only condition is that you have to die within 21 days. Otherwise, because otherwise it will be overcrowded. So this gentleman, he interviewed all these fellows who are going to die in Kashi. And then he found one common denominator. Every one of us have a feeling that, oh, with that man I should not have quarreled, with that person I should not have left that type of impression. And then this gentleman helped them to get rid of that emotion. So sometimes he called his relatives, brother, friend, or father, etc., to come to that place, or son, and then he meets that wonderful storybook. All of us should read that particular book. That how this emptying the mind, even at the last stage of your life, because that is still there in a seed form in your mind, that you are going to die in a few days, but still I have quarreled with my son, I have quarreled with my daughter-in-law, I am not happy with this. And that gentleman would like to remove that feeling before he says a goodbye to the people. So it was a wonderful book, similar to that workshop which I attended in Bombay. So this is very important, that getting rid of color and brightness is all right, but more than that, getting rid of these all unwanted emotions is very, very important. Let the new enter your home. That is how it will happen. And yourself. For this reason, after reading this, now the Joseph Newton is telling that you please pass on this message. Don't keep it with you. Make it circulate. May prosperity and peace reach you soon. And that is the exercise which we are doing it. Whatever we learned in last so many years on sustainable development, we should not keep with ourselves. We should go to more and more people by conducting trainers training program, and through that we can spread this message. It will do wonderful thing, good to them as well as to the society, to the nation as well. Thank you very much.
ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति Shantihi. Have a wonderful day.